So there are a million ways to remove the solder from something. I have a desoldering gun, but often solder wick's the way to go. It's cheap, easy, doesn't require a lot of setup, and it's really easy to see it working, especially if just get a thing. Especially if there's plenty of flux on it, you can actually see it run along the wick, and when it stops running, there's no more solder left. I have this solder pen that I lost the U-bit out of the front of it, so flux pen. I lost the when I was off screen. I have this nasty plastic tray that I use to coat my solder wick in flux, and we'll see. That's in shot. That's in shot. Should have probably put some gloves on. Sick of getting stuff all over my hands. I don't know if you can see that turning silver. Probably not. But I certainly can. The copper is just silver. It's silver about a centimetre that way at this stage. Yeah, it's going really good. And I don't know, like, people use their solder braid till it's completely, you know, dripping with solder. Unnecessary. It's only cheap. Yeah, see, I didn't go quite far enough on that time. That went right out to the end. Just wicked right out. No, I haven't got this one at all. There we go. Pardon me. I'm pulling around. I just took an antihistamine. Maybe I can zoom in for you. Let's go to 65. Not the best camera, is it? I'm a bit surprised about that actually. I sometimes wonder if it's the Logi Capture app that leaves its little watermark on the thing. I mean, it's a 4K webcam, and you know, it's not. You know, I haven't set up my DSLR or anything, but I expected it to actually be a little better than it has been. I tried different apps to capture and it didn't really help. Yeah, that's got that. I wonder if I can get a bit more out of this one. Yeah, I can see it wicking away. So this is the switch. We can sort of it's still attached there. Ow! Something's clearly getting hot enough to make me suffer. But not. I wonder if I should cut the legs off it. It wouldn't be difficult to do, and then I can just pull them out one at a time. I'm interested in pulling the switch apart though and seeing if just maybe it can be salvaged, because they're not cheap. I think I will cut the legs off it. It's a shame. Yeah, one of them just fell out when I got cut off. That's pretty cool. I must be well on the way. So we'll grab this with these nippers and we'll just heat up. I don't know if you can see anything anymore. I'm at that point where videography is running a very poor second to getting a decent result. To muck up the board more than necessary. Maybe I didn't cut the front ones. I had hoped I could lever them out one at a time, but doesn't look like it. So these back ones are out. These fellows here are cut, but the so now I can snip. I'll just snip one of them. Of course, then I can hang on the other one with the switch. Hey. There we go. Oh, that's why it didn't come out. It's attached at the front. Ah, right. Yes. I really wasn't in the mood. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I was only counting on the 6 legs of the switch, and in the process failed to recall that there are another 2 legs up the front which are connected to ground, but I think are mostly there to provide a mechanical mechanical support. Maybe I should have got out my desoldering gun. It's going increasingly badly. Although, oh, there we go. Yeah. Goodness me, there's an awful lot of thermal mass on these front ones. Got them done. Sorry, I was probably off camera. Yeah, clean the hole up. Yep, cleaned the hole up, that's good. Now it's got these last switch legs over here. There's one out. That's all of them. That's good. Now I just need to clean up that hole. Oh, not my best work, I've got to say. Really not my best work. I don't much like rework. I much prefer to make new stuff. But I think rework is an essential skill. And often it's the difference between an old piece of equipment being salvageable and cool again and being e-waste. For no reason other than e-work is difficult and expensive if you want to pay to have it done. So that's done that. I probably shouldn't have used my really good soldering pencil for that either. It was nice to really have some good kit going though. But that's nicely done. Now I'll get a couple of Q-tips or earbuds, whatever the hell they're called, and we'll get on there with some alcohol. Give that a good scrub. I probably should just use a rag or a piece of paper towel, but I don't have immediate access to either. Those capacitors were pretty much like that actually. Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff coming up off there, as you'd expect from the amount of heat I applied and flux flying around. And the back's considerably worse again. So that's pretty good. And then we'll just give this a quick, tip a quick thing, and I'll just wipe down these legs. And then this fellow yeah, there's no trouble with it going in at the back. However, those front positions were a bit snug with solder. I'll just get leaded solder, and I'll just heat this one up, push the switch fully home. I'll heat this side up, again push that switch fully home, and then I'll actually solder it in. There we go. Yep. And now I can solder in the remaining pins. Soldering iron's only marginally big enough for this, I would say. just oscillating from side to side. Each side of the switch is kinda separate. That's it. Turn off the iron. Each side of the switch, the contacts on each side aren't joined together inside. So you have essentially two independent switches. So if I go from side to side, then I'm likely to be not continuing to heat one side of the switch twice in a row. And I will not attempt to actuate the switch until I'm comfortable that it has cooled down. So a tip for beginners. I've had that happen before. A switch, when everything's hot and you click clack it, doesn't, all the forces that get exchanged in there have every opportunity to damage any softened plastics. That looks mint. I like it. Right, well, that's a new switch on there, and I know that the old one was no good because I'd jumpered the connections and the drive powered up, and also the old switch does not move at all. And what I was planning on doing, I'll just grab a screwdriver, a little precision screwdriver. We'll see if we can get in there. I don't reckon these are serviceable. I reckon there's a fair chance I'll stab myself through the hand, but they do come apart fairly readily usually. The manufacturing process is not so improbable that they're, you know, excitingly welded shut in some way. I already popped a little knob off. Made in Japan. I mean, it's a shame it failed. The Japanese stuff. The Japanese stuff's usually excellent. Even by you know. Oh, it's hooked itself back in. It's one of those things where you... Hey! Yeah, there's the inside. Yeah, the two little levers look fine. They look fine. It's beautifully made. It must have slipped. I'm cooking at the moment. I have a giant tray of baby potatoes in the oven, and when they're done I'm going to cover them in chicken legs. Well, when they're mostly done I'm going to cover them in chicken legs, and when the chicken legs are done I'm going to cover it in a very thin gravy and peas. And then when the gravy's the right consistency I'm going to call dinner done. Yeah, I don't know why that failed. It doesn't look great where these little things rocked back and forward on the... Anyway, I applied a slight amount of contact cleaner to the shaft of this, which will no doubt have worked its way inside. The switch became easy to operate instantly, and it was a new switch, so that's a little bit interesting as well. We'll have to see. But, and I do have to go, but there's our new switch. Working nicely. Soldered in, no solder bridges. Nice shiny joints. No sign of undercutting at the leads or anything. And I do think cleaning the leads can really help. Yeah. So all the other parts are cleaned. This can go back together, which will be the reverse of pulling it apart. I don't know if I'll do a video on that. It'll depend on how this video goes. I suspect it's not great to watch. But even if it's marginal, I might put it up because, you know, watch me struggle.